When 20 years of the moon's reign have passed, another will take up his reign for 7,000 years. When the exhausted sun takes up his cycle, then my prophecy and threats will be accomplished. Long before these happenings, the people of the East, influenced by the moon, in the year 1700 will cause many to be carried away and will almost subdue the northern area. From the three water signs will be born a man who will celebrate Thursday as his holiday. His renown, praise, rule, and power will grow on land and sea, bringing trouble to the East. The head of Aries, Jupiter, and Saturn, eternal God, what changes? Then the bad times will return again after a long century. What turmoil in France and Italy? Two evil influences in conjunction in Scorpio. The great Lord is murdered in his room. A newly appointed king persecutes the church, the lower parts of Europe and in the north. Alas, how he will set a great nation sorely troubled, and the holy law in utter ruin. Christianity governed throughout by other laws, when a new source of gold and silver is discovered. Two revolutions will be caused by the evil Sith bearer, making a change of reign and centuries. The mobile sign thus moves into its house, equal in favor to both sides. I, the land, with the climate opposite to Babylon, there will be great shedding of blood. Heaven will seem unjust both on land and sea and air. Sex, famine, kingdoms, plagues, confusion. Sooner or later you will see great changes made, dreadful horrors and vengeances, for as the moon is thus led by its angel, the heavens drop near to the balance. The trumpet shakes with great discord, and agreement broken, lifting the face to heaven. The bloody mouth will swim with blood. The face anointed with milk and honey lies on the ground. Through a slit in the belly, a creature will be born with 2 heads and 4 arms. It will survive for some few years, the day that Aquilo celebrates his festivals. Fasena, Turin, and the ruler of Ferrara will follow. The exiles deported to the islands at the advent of an even more cruel king will be murdered. 2 will be burnt who were not sparing in their speech. An emperor will be born near Italy who will cost the empire very dearly. They will say when they see his allies that he is less a prince than a butcher. The wretched and fortunate republic will again be ruined by a new authority. The great moment of ill will accumulate in exile, will make the Swiss break their important agreement. Alas, what a great loss there will be to learning before the cycle of the moon is completed. Fired, great floods by more ignorant rulers, how long the centuries until it is seen to be restored. Pestilences extinguished, the world becomes smaller. For a long time the lands will be inhabited peacefully. People will travel safely through the sky, over land and seas. Then wars will start up again. At night they will wink they have seen the sun. When the sea, the half-pig man, noise, screams, battles seem fought in the skies. The brute beasts will be heard to speak. A child without hands, never so grateful a thunderbolt seen. The royal child wounded at a game of tennis. At the well, lightning strikes, joining together 3 trussed up in the middle under the oaks. He who then carries the news, after a short while, will stop to breathe. Viviers turn on Montferrand and Prados. Hail and storms will make them grieve. The great famine, which I sense approaching, will often turn in various areas, then become worldwide. It will be so vast and long-lasting that they will grab roots from the trees and children from the breast. Oh, to what a dreadful and wretched torment are 3 innocent people going to be delivered. Poison suggested, badly guarded, betrayal, delivered up to horror by drunken executioners. The great mountain, 7th Lydia round, after peace, war, famine, flooding, it will spread far, drowning great countries, even antiquities in their might foundations. Rain, famine, and war will not cease in Persia. Too great a faith will betray the monarch. Those actions started in France will end there, a secret sign for on to be sparing. The marine tower will be captured and retaken 3 times by Spaniards, barbarians, and Ligurians. Marseilles and Aix, Alais by men of Pisa, devastation, fire, sword, pillage at Avignon by the Turinese. The inhabitants of Marseille completely changed, fleeing in pursuit as far as Lyons. Narbonne introduced anger by Bordeaux, and killed and captive are almost 1 million. France shall be accused of neglect by her 5 partners, Tunis, Algiers, stirred up by the Persians, Leon, Seville, and Barcelona having failed. They will not have the fleet because of the Venetians. After arrest, they will travel to Epirus. Great help coming from around Antioch. The curly-haired king will strive greatly for the empire. The brazen beard will be roasted on a spit. The tyrant of Siena will occupy Savona. Having won the fort, he will restrain the marine fleet. 2 armies under the standard of Ancona. The leader will examine them in fear. The man will be called by a barbaric name that 3 sisters will receive from destiny. He will speak them to a great people in words and deeds. More than any other man will have fame and renown. A promontory stands between 2 seas. A man will die later by the bit of a horse. Neptune unfurls a black sail for his man. The fleet near Gibraltar and Roqueval. To an old leader will be born an idiot heir, weak both in knowledge and in war. The leader of France is feared by his sister. Battlefields divided, conceded to the soldiers. Bazas, Lecteur, Condom, Auch, and Agen are troubled by laws, disputes, and monopolies. Carcassonne, Bordeaux, Toulouse, and Beny will be ruined when they wish to renew the massacre. From the 6th bright celestial light, it will come just under very strong in Burgundy. Then a monster will be born of a very hideous beast. In March, April, May, and June, great wounding and worrying. Nine will be set apart from the human flock, separated from judgment and advised. Their fate is to be divided as they depart. K, the, L, dead, banished and scattered. And the great wooden columns tremble in the south wind covered with blood. Such a great assembly then pours forth that Vienna and the land of Austria will tremble. The alien nation will divide the spoils. Saturn in dreadful aspect, and Mars, dreadful and foreign to the Tuscans and Latins, Greeks who will wish to strike. The moon is obscured in deep gloom. His brother becomes bright red in color. The great one, hidden for a long time in the shadows, will hold the blade in the bloody wound. The king is troubled by the queen's reply. Ambassadors will fear for their lives. The greater of his brothers will doubly disguise his action. 2 of them will die through anger, hatred, and envy. When the great queen sees herself conquered, she will show an excess of masculine courage. Naked, on horseback, she will pass over the river, pursued by the sword. She will have outraged her faith. Earth-shaking fire from the center of the earth will cause tremors around the new city. 2 great rocks will war for a long time, when Aruthas will redden a new river. The divine wrath overtakes the great prince, a short while before he will marry. Both supporters in credit will suddenly diminish. Counsel, he will die because of the shaven heads. Those of Lereda will be in the Moselle. Kill all those from the Loire and Seine. The seaside track will come near the high valley when the Spanish open every route. Bordeaux and Poitiers, at the sound of the bell, will go with the great fleet as far as Langon. A great rage will surge up against the French when an hideous monster is born near Organ. The gods will make it appear to mankind that they are the authors of the great war. Before the sky was seen to be free of weapons and rockets, the greatest damage will be inflicted on the left. Under one man, peace will be proclaimed everywhere, but not long after will be looting and rebellion. Because of a refusal, town, land, and sea will be broached. About 1/3 dead or captured. The Italian lands near the mountains will tremble. The cock and the lion, not strongly united in place of fear, they will help each other. Freedom alone moderates the French. The tyrant Salem will be put to death at the harbor, but liberty will not be regained, however. A new war arises from vengeance and remorse. A lady is honored through force of terror. In front of a monastery will be found a twin infant from the illustrious and ancient line of a monk. His fame, renown, and power through sex and speech is such that they will say the living twin is deservedly chosen, and men will be charged with the destruction of temples and sectors altered by fantasy. He will harm the rocks rather than the living, ears filled with ornate speeches. That which neither weapon nor flame could accomplish will be achieved by a sweet-speaking tongue and counsel. Sleeping in a dream, the king will see the enemy not in a war or of military blood, The leader who will conduct great numbers of people far from their skies to foreign customs and language. 5,000 will die in Crete and Thessaly. The leader fleeing in a sea-going supply ship. The great king will join with two kings united in friendship. How the great household decide around Narbonne what pity for the children. For a long time a great bird will be seen in the sky near Dole and the lands of Tuscany. He holds a flowering branch in his beak, but he dies too soon and the war ends.